Welcome back to the Blackhouse. We're back in the kitchen today, and the first show for 2023. How is everyone?
Awesome, awesome.
Doing well.
Hey, we got new team members. We got 2 team members this year, so I just want to introduce. I'm going to introduce first of all.
Mia.
Yeah.
I'm in social media for Blackhouse, so holla at your girl.
Hello. And we got Rosie, who's behind camera. You can swing around here and put your face in the camera, Rosie. Just do what you do. Hey. So how are you going to help me out this year?
I'm the camera person.
Yeah.
And if any ideas I have, I throw it in.
Awesome.
And I'm just learning.
Awesome.
Yeah, getting into new experience.
Oh, that's the way to go. That's how you live life. It's just all about new experiences, right? And we've got Samah, and Samah joined us late last year.
Yeah, I did.
How was your summer, girl?
Good. It was nice. It was nice and warm. I'm not excited for winter. It's going to be cold.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because I found every winter has gotten warmer since I've been back in Wellington.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's only Feb and it's still raining lately.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying it. So,
The
but
summer's not
summer as
summer.
well.
We're getting somebody said to me, Auckland's getting tropical weather and we're now getting Auckland's weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
of the view that maybe our summer is wet and our winter is gonna be hot.
Yeah, I think so.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You never
I heard
know.
the winters here are horrible, so I'm hoping.
Oh well, one could only hope, because if we are like this in summer, then winter is gonna be really bad if it carries on like that. I reckon. So
Yeah.
I'm praying.
Let's
United
get together.
Switches.
And also, Byron's back. But this is going to be your last weekend because baby's on the way. And life stops when baby's on the way.
Well, baby is on the way, but I've heard that once I've had baby for a short while, I'll be like, I need some.
Yeah, you'll need some time out. Like 6
Yeah.
months. 6 months. You'll have a 6 month,
Yeah.
first parent dad breakdown. And you're like, I need to be around other adults. Like pooping, nappies.
Don't make it sound so scary.
It is.
It's a miracle
It
of
is.
life, Liya.
No, I want you to come back to the Blackhouse as soon as possible. So, I'm going to tell you all the worst bits. Like, I took my son to the movies with me. The first time I got out to the movies, and you know what? I ended up with, I got doused in the movies, and I had to go to the bathroom and literally wash my kid down.
Did you didn't even watch the movie?
I didn't get to watch the movie.
That's I like movies. What am I going to do?
I know, right? It was like my first, single mum. I've got to get out of this place, be around. Thought, the movies would be a safe place to be. No, I went there with my kid.
So fortunately or unfortunately, depends on how the viewers see this.
Yeah.
This will be my last one for a short while, and then I'll go be a father, learn how to do all that thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll be back.
It's not that hard. So many people have done it, happening for a while.
You're supposed to brainwash me into coming back. Look at that. Not even apologetic about it.
No, I don't have any sympathies for fathers that don't know how to do fatherhood after a week. I'm like, come on, man, get it together.
I'll message you and be like, this is so easy.
Yeah. No, I'll just be tough love. I'll just be like, suck it up, princess.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie Liya.
Okay, so enough of the Blackhouse. We're all back here, and first of all, we've got a special guest here today. She's flown all the way from Auckland to come and be on our show. We got other little things happening in the background, but we won't get into that just yet. And also, she's an amazing artist. She's done Splore, she's done festivals, she does her own podcast. I'd like to welcome to the show Nadine Namihana, also known as DJ ORIKoL. How are you, girl?
I'm doing good, and I'm feeling very special and blessed to sit amongst my family, and also to see where the Blackhouse magic happened. Guys, this is amazing. I'm so impressed. I'm really extremely impressed. For those who are out there who haven't been able to come to the Wellington Access Radio, you're missing out. From the bottom upstairs, it's just impressive. It's extremely impressive. Well done, guys. I'm feeling very empowered and inspired.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Hey, we want to start off. First of all, I want you to tell us a bit about yourself, what you do for the listeners out there that haven't heard of DJ ORIKoL. and maybe they haven't been to Explore, they haven't been to any of the festivals that you play or any events you play around, just tell us a bit about who you are and what you do.
Thank you. I don't like introducing myself because I really want to blend in with nature and the scene. But if you might know, I'm such a little tiny African girl from Burundi, Central East Africa. And I'm on the view that Burundi is the best country of Africa. I hope I'm not going to walk out here. I've been in New Zealand for quite some times, and I've gone to school, Master University, had a communication degree. I have run a radio station, a charitable trust.
Oh yeah, that was another thing I didn't mention. You were a radio DJ as well.
Yes. I have managed a radio. I have hosted a show on another different radio. I've run a trust. Like Liya mentioned, I'm an event manager. I am also a DJ. I'm all about Africa, to be honest. The list goes on. We'll be here until tomorrow if I was to be actually quite naming the things that I've been doing. But when you hear Nadine and Nahima, now DJ ORIKoL, it equals Africa, the motherland. And here I am with my extended family in terms of our goals and our passion of what it is to empower and inspire our community. So thank you so very much. If you want to know more about me, just check me out, on Insta, ORIKoL, DJ ORIKoL on Facebook, or Nadine Nahimana on Facebook, because I suck at talking about myself.
Well, me and you had a yarn last night, and you told me the origin of your name and your DJ name.
Yes.
And I thought that was could you tell us that? Could you tell the rest of us the story?
Oh, well, when actually I started getting into DJing, everybody, we all grow up with music, and our aunties and our uncles, drumming, using pots, whatever. And I grew up with a good amount of love in music, about African music, and also music everywhere. I go in New Zealand, and right after school I went to KFM, which is a radio station, and I got an opportunity to actually manage it, 60 DJs on a weekly basis.
Wow.
But I was, and they were quite, they kind of beats and music that they will promote. It wasn't really mainstream, and that even gave a little bit of a space for my African music. So I will be managing DJs and hearing their music on a daily basis, but there was something that was lacking for me, something that brings me back home, something that reminds me of my roots, When I grew up in Burundi, one of the things is you're at home and you listen to music and you sing along. That was something that I missed when I was there, even though I was overwhelmed by beautiful music from all over the world. There was that part that was missing, and that got to my heart. But also, KFM was owned by a charitable trust called Tekaranga Trust, and we had so many multiple community facilities that we were running in terms of meeting the community halfway. Yeah. Same thing that you are doing here. Yeah. So one of the activities that we used to do was to run fundraising events, and because I was one who was organizing that, I brought a little bit of African influence into the events organizing. We will be we're gonna have a party and the theme is gonna be Afrobeats. And that's how we started on K-Road. But then we will be having this Afrobeat oriented party, but it will be only one genre, South Africa. Because then maybe the beat is the beat that was actually well known, so they will be only going for South Africa.
And that was before Amapiano, right?
That was way before Amapiano, 2012. And and I will go to the DJs. I'm like, guys, man, I'm from Central Africa. We've gone Dombolos. We've got the Coffee Aromides. We've got all this. There's so much that is going on in the other part of Africa. Can we not mix it? Yeah, we will do that, because now I know no DJ really like you telling them what to play. Now that I'm a DJ. I'm like, can you just play? Doesn't even understand what's going on. Can you just play, man? Like, mix it. And they will look at me, they were like, we know we are the boss. We will do
Oh my
it.
God, they hate it.
Yeah, give me two songs, I'll do it.
They're
Hey.
like the most annoying people annoying people at the disco is the one that comes up and I call it the disco. Is the one that comes and goes, play that song again for me. Like
So true, and sometimes they come and ask you to play the songs which you do not have.
Yeah.
The whole process of being a DJ involves more than, yeah, you want me to play that? Yeah, I'm gonna play that. Yeah, and just find it right now. I never also, even though I was aware of, those technicalities, I was just telling them next time at least mix it with other music from Africa, because we are representing Africa, not South Africa. You know what I mean? Anywho, it was just a little bit of a soft challenge, but it never really, happened. And then we go to a point where we moved from KFM and we brought the Afrobeat party some places along K Road. And then I'm there, just like an audience, in the audience, and I'm like, this is the same thing. You're just hearing like South African music. I'm like, guys, come on. What about Zimbabwe? Some of them were also from Zimbabwe, like some of the DJs were from Zimbabwe. I'm like, why don't you bring in some Zimbabwe music? And I said to one of the organizers, I said, man, if it was me, I would go there and I would bring Angola and I would go blah and I would go blah. And then she goes, yeah? Do you want to play next event? And we were just like at a party, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, why not? A month later, I got a call. It's like, so what do you want to call yourself? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you said you want to play. And I'm like, well, now? When? Yeah, I want to put you on a poster. And I was like, okay, let's go with DJ Nads. Nadine Nads. I was just like throwing it out there. And I didn't even have a laptop at that point. So I had to go and buy a laptop. I had to go and get all this like gear to DJ and all this kind of thing just because I was like, this is necessary. It needs to be done. Because I've been actually trying to negotiate with the existing DJ about, can you incorporate this type of music? But why am I waiting for them to do that? I'm going to go and I'm going to just throw myself into that and I'm just going to see if I can shake it up. So now I'm like, I'm not really happy with this name, DJ Naz. It just doesn't have any ring to it. It doesn't have any attraction to it. I'm like talking to my mates and I'm like, what do you guys reckon, yeah? What do you think I should call myself? And we were living like into like apartments, all together. And they were like, one of them was like, last few months you've been talking about things and they've actually been happening. And I think you should call yourself DJ ORIKoL, like an oracle, the one that predicts the future. So my other friend goes, because she's Jewish, she goes, in Hebrew, this is how you spell oracle. It's not oracle, it's ORIKoL. And that's how the name came up. So I became DJ ORIKoL from that.
But the really cool thing is your second name, and I've always been calling it Zeal, but then last night you were saying, no, it said Zele.
It's Zele.
And I'm like, what does that mean? And like, it so goes with you, right?
Yeah, so Zele comes from zealous. So I am the zealous oracle. Yeah, so oracle, Zele, zealous, the zealous oracle. Yeah.
That's cool.
There we go.
That's cool. I think, because maybe my question then is, because as you said, you felt there was a gap there.
Yeah.
There was a gap that wasn't happening. And obviously you're from Burundi.
Yes.
Was it very important for you to bring that into that DJ scene as well?
It's actually quite interesting because the Burundi beats, are quite different. They are not really club beats. It's just now that, though, like when you look at when I'm a piano broke out, there is this other beat, like a beat from even like Nigeria right now that is, the Mr. Easy's. There's this quite upbeat that is coming up, which is almost similar to Amapiano, but not really Amapiano. And this is spreading throughout Africa, and that's where the Burundians are trying to catch up to. But since I've been a DJ, I really can count how many times I played a tune from Burundi or Rwanda.
Oh, really?
Or even Uganda, because our beats are they are not as fast as club beats. And then as a DJ, when you go there, you do prepare something to give your audience, to share with your audience, but also you are driven by the audience.
Yeah.
What does the audience want? Because they have paid their own money. They are still spending money to be in that club. So you need, as a DJ, need to meet them halfway to be like, it's not just about me.
Yeah.
It's about you too. And that's how sometimes music from Burundi don't actually make it into the club. But we are getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I've played like a few tunes from Rwanda, and Rwanda and Burundi is one country. It's one country. So I'm proud of that.
You're working your way. You're working your way slowly.
I'm like, hey guys,
Yeah.
you know, because I have had so much experience when I would drop like Diamond, first time like Diamond Platinums when I first dropped it, and the whole dance floor would just clear out. It's like, oh, this is not Nigeria, so I'm out.
Yeah.
This is not South Africa, so I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah, Africa trying to like get a unified sound in a way. Because if I look at old Tanzanian songs, they're all like Mr. Blue, Faluz, and they're all talking. They have a message behind it. Yeah. And then now it's just like everyone's just trying to have like I'm on piano type beat and like pump house. And it's like, just to get your body moving. And it's like now you have to keep up with the times.
That's it.
And it's becoming like merging into just one thing.
It is. I'm a piano has inspired so many other beats right now. But I think like everything, like culture, everything, the music evolves. Yeah. So we need to keep up. Because like some people they come, oh wow, you don't DJ like you used to go, and I'm like, yeah, but because music evolved, I can't. Like even when you look at an artist, when you look at even a Burna Boy when he started and when he is, they evolve. They don't stay in one category, in one niche. As an artist, you need to keep on also growing and challenging yourselves. Look at Wizkid. Wizkid has gone through so many different genres, to even dance hall, to here, because he has been doing that bit for a minute. He needs to grow, he needs to evolve, and he needs to satisfy what the audience really needs from him. So that is true. Like,
and Diamond Platinums is in every freaking video these days.
Yeah.
And imagine from where he came from. If you look at his like first songs.
My number one, my sweetie, my number one, my Probably that's the one I dropped and everybody cleared out. And I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to feed you the same food until you like it.
Until you're hungry.
And I was like, play Diamond. And I'm like, since when?
Like when it comes to bongo flavor, which is Tanzanian genre, he actually created his own sound.
He did.
Yeah, but now he's kind of moving to one piano again because the popular demand and everything.
So it's
really
not.
Demand.
And please, people out there, when you look at the DJs, like, oh, you're playing with, and I know that the artists we follow and want to share with you are also evolving. So we're giving you what they're producing. We can't keep on being in the past and just like, but it's true, we are losing a little bit of it, because when you look at how even Burundians are going more to this beat, we are losing our cultural beat, the one that we associate ourselves with, the one that makes you want to dance like you are from home, that thing is, but there are those who stick with those kind of like categories and genres of beat, and there are those who are just like young ones, they're just coming up and they want to sound like Burna Boy, and they want to sound like, like the dance hall, like, mixing English, French, and Kirundi and Swahili and everything, and you're listening to them, I was like, what was that again? Which language are you talking about? But it's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's like it's a new generation, it's a new vibe, it's a new era, it's a new creativity, and we can't say no to that.
There was something that I read that you wrote, which like it comes up to what you're saying now, is like for you connecting with your audience is so important.
Yeah.
So you say meeting them halfway. So like your own musical identity and like your own DJing.
Yes.
And, like cultural beats and what they want and what they like.
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful. I read that and I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. For me personally, even when I got into DJing, my whole thing was to actually being able to avail or make easy access to an environment where we can go and self-identify. We can go and we can dance without any judgment. We can be who we are without being full of something else. I remember when I was like main stage Explore, we had an incident because we were dancing like we dance, like you go there and you whatever you fancy, you're there even 2 years old, that kind of thing. But people will look at it and they think that we are kind like taking it the next level, like sexually, whatever kind of thing. But we're like, no, we want to show you this is actually how we dance. For instance, look at the Tanzanian diamond, that thing when the legs are there. You know, when you look at that, you're like...
The twerk originated in Tanzania, guys. We got the twerk.
So sexualized. I remember when I was in like, grade 4, we had to do this traditional dance thing and I had to do like wind my waist all the way to the ground. And I'm like, 6? So it's like, people look at it now, it's like, oh my god, it's so sexual, how could you let your child do that? But it's like, these are our traditional dances.
That's
what we used to do. You can't take that away from us, or you can't change the meaning.
Anyway, so to come back to your question
sorry, what I was going to say, and like watching a twerk done in a bati, when you're wearing a bati and the bati's like really loose, it's actually more sexy than watching the twerk done by a stripper on a stripper club.
And like
because there's so much thing is more covered up. It suggests more like your imagination just gets a little bit more sort of like imaginative, I guess. So it's like that's what I noticed about the Tanzanian twerk. I'm like, this is so much more. I can see where people are, where their brains are going, because their body's sort of, it's not open, it's not all out there. There's suggestion. You know what I mean? There's more suggestion. Sorry.
But it's beautiful to see when I looked at it. It was beautiful to see because it wasn't young girls dancing like that. It was really aunties. It was, the women who say, but that, when you look at them, you're like, they are business owners. You know, like they are confident, and that culture is natural to them because they grew up, like dancing like that. Same thing when you go and like Gwara Gwara, for instance, South African people are very, 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 how can I say, they're so, what's the word I'm looking for? Flexible. Like when they are dancing with their body, what they do, like when their legs and all this thing, we as Burundians might not be able to do it exactly how they do them because they grow up, when you look at the kids from South Africa, when they're growing up, they're doing those things. They're already knowing how to. They are like 5 years old and they already know how to shake that thing. And when the head goes back and your thing is here, and it's like, oh my god. For me, I had to like practice like how many times, like for me to get it. I still don't think I got it right. But for them, you look at the little kids growing up. They put them a piano there and they just like, you're like that little kid.
And the legs.
And everything. Do you know? And it's the same thing even when we go to Tanzania, this twerking, that's because it's something that is within the community. So the kids that grow up seeing it as normal. It's not labeled sexual. This is the way we dance. This is how we enjoy our thing. So for me, getting into the DJing was to be able to create that space where I can provide that easy access to that type of music so people can be like that. So people can dance like that without any judgment, without anybody saying, oh, she's a whore.
So what happened at Splore? You were going to tell us something happened
there was
at
an incident that happened at Splore, which like we were just like dancing and there was... Well, we're beautiful. There's nothing to hide about it. We're beautiful and, young girls, we're dancing, we're shaking, we dress up nicely. And then there's this just guy over there and next minute I turn around to talk to my girl and he's like almost like striking her hair and my girl is just like this. And I'm like, I just went to him and I just like, told him off and I'm like, this is actually not seeking attention. This is us celebrating our culture. This is how we dance. We are not here because we're saying we are worth this amount of, it's not an open door. Right? And that's why like sometimes I feel like having this protect safe space to feel a sense of belonging, to dance how we want to dance without actually any judgment or any labeling or I'm easy, come and touch me. You know what I mean? Yeah, because that's where I say meeting even my audience halfway is very important because creating that easy access, if I'm the one imposing my music on them, then it's a fail. So going through all that to be able to meet my audience halfway is also acknowledging their voice, understanding what they want in music, being educated by my audience too, because I do not know it all, and that's the beauty of meeting halfway.
It's like a relationship.
It's a deep relationship.
So I'm wondering, in a New Zealand context, like you're in New Zealand, is it something that you have to remind some audiences when your girls are out there dancing, doing dancing? Do you have to actually remind the audience that this is our dancing. This is not us suggesting to you that this is a sexual thing. You know what I mean?
Like it's more about culture than it is about your entertainment.
Yeah. Do you have to actually like?
Well, that was its first, but I reckon like this time, which actually Explore is next weekend, and we're going to be there too. Rocking and representing Africa again. I feel so full when it comes to that. Yes, it's something that I'm going to consider because it wasn't big incident, but Explore is so well managed that even when I complained to them, even the head called my girl and apologized, the head of Explore did, because they are so well organized and they don't tolerate that kind of behavior at all. But
there'll always be dickheads. Like you can't help dickheads.
Yes, you can't. You can't.
The fact that they can spin that to being like you made it seem like you were suggestive, and it's like no, you just need to get with the times.
No, you just need to just not be an asshole.
Not be an asshole.
Leave me alone. I don't know.
But you know, like Liya just said, even as an event manager, I'm not gonna say that everything can be all perfect. I am not here, and Explore was not there promoting that type of behavior, and I won't be there promoting that type of behavior. But you can't control everything when you organize an event, especially in events that hosted 10,000 people for 3 days.
Massive.
It's not something that they've got a well organized team, but things like that do happen. Me, what I was impressed about is the way they handled it right after it happened. That the director himself came and talked to us and apologized, called one of my girls to apologize. That was what I said. Look, this is good. You are already talking about how you are against this. This is not normal, not even on your stage, on your festival. Yes, I think that when it comes to next Saturday, I might be able to say, yo, now we are here to promote our culture. We are not here to suggest any ideas. Please, can you respect us?
Respect the space.
We are here to promote our Africa. We are here because we want to also feel a sense of belonging, and we are here because we want to share with you. You know, like we are creative. As well, speaking for ourselves, we are creative. You know what I mean? We are creative. We are rich. You know, so let us also promote our beautiful image, unlike whatever else they flow in the medias.
Our self-expression isn't an opening for creepiness.
Leave the creepiness at home, guys. Uncle creepies.
Seriously.
There's probably a few auntie creepies too.
That's the one that doesn't get talked about.
Like let's just drop that taboo subject. Auntie creepies and uncle creepies just stay
absolutely. And we only know about the uncle creepies for us because it only happened to us in that way. But absolutely, there are auntie creepies out there. They are there. Actually, they could be the minions, above all of them.
I was quite inspired as you were speaking about creating that space for that safety and that cultural expression. Apart from DJing, are there any other spaces in which you feel, not responsibility, but you feel like you want to create more safe spaces for Africanness and Africans to feel safe within? Because, I mean, maybe one example I'll say is that in terms of expressing myself, and there's many facets in ways people express themselves.
Absolutely.
One thing I've always found is that in cultural areas where we're not the norm, people try to shut us down. You know. So apart from DJing, do you find there are other spaces in which you think you have yourself create spaces that people can express themselves, or you would like to?
Yes. One of the things that I've been also doing is creating these events. Like I've had, if you go to my YouTube, DJ ORIKoL.
DJ ORIKoL on YouTube. Just go to @DJ ORIKoL.
That's it.
Plug.
Because when you go there and you see all those events that I've been creating since 2016, it is all focused on Africa. You know, like I've worked with councils, I've worked with private agencies to be able to actually bring Africa not only that was the other thing and see what was attracting people was events that are happening in town. So while my thing was like I want to bring us from community centers into Aotearoa Square, into Salo Park, into N Melville Center,
where we're visible,
where we also like the people around us can also have easy access to us, because when you have like Africa Day Food, we used to have it at LSD Community Center, and most of the time you actually will hear about it when it's already gone. Because there's no marketing for it. It's hidden in a community center. It's just about the people who are there, not outside. But coming it and having it at Aotearoa Square, for instance, like what we just did last weekend. Is Aotearoa Square has got its own following also already. They've got their members, their subscribers, and they put up a calendar of what they're doing on every weekend. So if we manage to be there, those people who are subscribers to Aotearoa Square, they'll be like, oh, there's an African thing happening. So they come. If we've got our food, it gets sold. We've got our stores, that's we're creating a market for them. So that is one of the other things that like self-expression in terms of like empowering the African community, in terms of like creating a place for us to be visible on the map of, first of all, Auckland, because that's where I live, but now Aotearoa, outside of Auckland, which is what we want to be working on in the future. I also have a podcast. You know, it's a little bit on hold right now because you can carry everything. It's called African Mirror. You can go and check it out too. And that's where that I created that because out of also frustration, you know, like so I was sick and tired of always seeing Africa associated with Red Cross and associated with UNICEF and associated with
you
know like
with the fly on his face.
The fly or the voucher next to that.
They get the same fly for every video.
You know, I mean, Trevor Noah said it so well in one of his. Am I going back into that African ad again? Yeah. It's and that pushed me as well to be like hearing people saying, "Oh yeah, Africa is the first world country." First of all, I'm like, I'm crying. A country. Okay. Secondly, what do you mean first world? What third world? What do you mean third world? Who put those terms there? Who said that this is the first world and this is third world? But do you know that actually Congo itself, one country of Africa, is supplying more than half of cobalt that is actually being used to create all these clusters cars that we've got here? Like that is one country of Africa. How can you label us as the third world country?
Yeah, we feed the Africa. The continent of Africa feeds the world.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And
so
leaves the people doing the feeding, hungry and starving in a lot of places, but not all places, because Africa is also the place that's got the most amazing cities that we never see. Yeah. Because they want to focus on that
media,
that fly and that person with the fly, like their co-stars on those ads everywhere they go. You know?
And a place which harbors a lot of diseases, incurable diseases. A place where people that breeds people who are just monkeys. We are not intelligent. We always need help.
That's really funny because there was this article that came out and there were a lot of Kenyan students that were helping students in the US cheat. So as in the Kenyan students would get paid by the US students to write their papers. So these people are getting theses, people are getting like all these essays done, and it's just Kenyan students just going at it and just submitting it for them. People haven't even attended universities like up there in Harvard, no Duke, nothing, and they're passing your classes. Imagine that. And they're the same people who turn around in the same breath and say, "Oh yeah, like Africans are dumb," and it's like, what?
Exactly.
We're writing your papers, dude. Like another thing I heard along the same lines, but years ago, was that even years ago, like a decade ago, Africa was more tech savvy when it came to the use of mobile phones. The way that they use mobile phones right across the continent, they were more tech savvy about it.
But sorry to cut you, but you know in Burundi I can send you money just using a text right now. And you go and you buy things by just that. We don't even have that system over here. When I was stuck in Burundi for 6 months, I kept on be like, what do you mean? You know, you send someone, hey Samah, can you send me 500? Come on, in like the phone. And I'm like,
it's amazing.
So we are the third world country. Excuse me, I don't even see this. Sometimes you go into your bank and they don't even release your money or they block your bank. And I'm like, I struggle to even get my money over there, but you can lend money, you can send money in Burundi, which is probably like apparently, you know, one of the poorest countries in the world.
For organising even, like at that time there was some bit of organising going on that was being done a lot through mobile phones
Yeah.
and mobile apps and different things like that. So being able to organise, being able to do that, share money, to be able to run businesses, we're way ahead of New Zealand. Like,
Absolutely.
way ahead.
No.
Africa's creative.
Yeah.
It's extremely creative with a lot of people very creative. And I feel like, I guess, coming back to your question about the podcast, was part of your frustration to try and break that
yes,
break that mold?
because that is also a stigma. Because when we go to school now, when we go to work, when we go, that stigma is labeled on our back. Oh, you actually, you sure you can do this job? Or are you sure you're not sick? Oh, do you need money? Donation? Did you hear Ebola broke out in? Did you hear COVID broke out throughout the whole world?
It's constant, like, the victimization.
Absolutely.
It takes away your feeling of like confidence.
And
just personhood in general.
Yeah, personhood in general.
Being able to assert that you are a person that is valuable and matters. I think what I like about the podcast is that you're taking that into your own hands. You're not relying on anyone else to give you personhood. You're saying, I'm a person, I'm taking it, and this is who I am.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you.
I'm going to show you
the world.
And yes, African Mirror. And we produced that, and thanks to my team, for the whole year, we were doing a weekly episode for the whole year, and no one was paid.
Oh, wow.
No one was paid. I did not get paid. My team did not get paid, and that's why we overdid it. That we had to take a break because now we are like, there's some bills that are paying up right now. So you want to be spending 30 hours for it's good, you know. It's out there though. Yeah, we will pick it up when we've got the resources that we need. But that was something that I was very, very apart from, like DJing and doing all these things. That was something that I was very, very dedicated to. If you hear like the themes that are there, I was very it's very provocative. It's thought for the food, and I said sometimes, but even my family will say, Nadine, they're gonna kill you. Can you stop talking like that? And I'm like, what? That will be it then. I'll die here.
Wait, who's telling you not to talk about what?
Oh, my family will be like, because I will be just coming out here. I will be like calling on things, you know what I mean, like countries, and I'll be like, there's this lady called what's her name again? She's Zimbabwean. She was like at the UN ex-UN ambassador.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And she lost her son really like recently 2 years ago, and it was all relevant to her voice. Trying to talk about Africa unity and talk about what France is doing in Africa until 2022. That there are certain countries of Africa that are actually still paying, you know, money to France until 2022. And all these things, you know, like I was trying to bring all that to light. Like let's not pretend this is not happening. You can't be calling me a beggar when you are in my house and you are stealing from me. So those are the things that I will come and I'll put, you know, them out there. Then my brothers, of course, they'll be like, you know, the white people, they might kill you.
Oh, okay, so
you know what I mean?
they don't want you upsetting the white people.
Yes, you know, and they're also in Burundi, and they are not actually exposed to this attitude that we encounter here, because Burundi is Burundians. You know, we really didn't know colonization. To be honest with you, we didn't. Burundi. We did have Belgium there, Germany there, and Arabs, but they did not it did not change so much. They did steal things from us. They did cut our culture to keep on evolving and passed on generation to generation because they brought their own system. But honestly,
they didn't settle.
They didn't settle. They are not there. Even the white people were there. They actually speak Kirundi. Like it's very integrated. So they don't understand why I'm angry. Like when I'm doing a podcast, like, why are you angry? Do you want to come back home? Don't talk about it like that. What if they take you out? You know that.
Don't upset those nice
don't upset them. You know, like it's actually a reasonable feeling for them to have because you know of love and everything. And also like it's something that probably they are not used to, and something that is also provocative, like your show here. And we started about the same time. So it's provocative. It can hurt some people because I was out there really angry, telling the Karens like, Mother, actually, can you come and be like so racist towards me when I've got more cultures than you do? I speak more languages than you do. I've traveled longer than you have. What leg do you have to stand on to look down on me and call me less educated than you? Because obviously I'm more educated than you.
I think that's what we were talking about, like what I wanted to talk about, our different love languages, because like love languages to our people, like love languages to Africa, right? I've got my own love language, she's got her own like my love language is, because I've spent my time growing up in this country with my feet in this country more than I have in Africa. Mine is about self-empowerment, mine is about resilience, my love language is about learning the codes, learning the code compendium of white supremacy in New Zealand, learning how to understand that, because that shit will keep you alive. That shit will keep you on top of things. That shit will help you, right? Understand where you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I do advocacy. I support people having to deal with the system. I'm not afraid of the system. I grew up in the system. Like my son always says, Mum, inside you there's an angry African American man who lived through civil rights movement. I'm like, yeah, probably because I have that attitude. But I sort of think that everybody has their love language, and what I've noticed about you is that you have your own love language for Africa. Like mine is about, okay, your feet are here. Here's how you got to wake up to deal with here. Otherwise, after a while, you're going to feel like everything's kind of on top of you. It's going to feel like, if you don't build that resilience in yourself, it's going to feel like you don't have hope.
Yeah. And
let's be honest, we are punching above our weight for suicides in our community.
True.
Another one.
Yeah.
And a lot of these suicides are young men.
Yeah.
Young black men in this country. So something is happening for a community the size that we have have this many suicides. Because I'm getting a little bit shocked by that.
It is.
It's just like one every 6 months now at this rate. And that's the resilience broken down. So how are we going to what are we going to do about it? How are we going to, that's what I feel is what my love language. Let me show you some ways. Master, whatever. Hard one. Like young grasshopper. Let me show you some ways.
Yeah.
But you have your own love language, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think your love language, what I can see is that, like, Zelle, when I learned the meaning of Zelle, I'm like, oh my God, that really encompasses you and your passion, your drive for what you do. So tell me a little bit about your love languages, and you've spoken a lot about it already.
Yeah.
But just get into a little bit of more of the nitty gritty of how you manage that language with people around you, and you share that to get them kind of, I want to fight the man. Like, we're gonna do this. Like, yeah. So tell me a little bit about yours.
I am trying to scratch my head so I don't really repeat what I said. But my love language is it all have generated by this gap that we talked about. You know, the gap in equality, the gap in equity. You know, we are here and we sweat a lot for this economy. You know what I mean? We love Aotearoa, that's why we stay here. All we're trying to do is like, can we get a fair chance of us? You know, to have that space, that safe space, you know, like the Indians do have. How long have we been celebrating Diwali? And how many times, how much funding goes into Diwali? It's one country, let me remind you that. How much money goes into the Chinese New Year's celebration? That's again one country. All these things, just giving those examples. All these things are the things that also kind of like fueled my love for Africa in terms of like going on the street as wisdom screaming, hey, we are here too. We might not be in this size, but we could be in this size if you were to also give us a chance. We are here, we want to be visible, we are here, we want to have a sense of belonging. One of my other dreams is to be able to create an African food court. That's very important. It is very, very important for the community to always be reminded of their food.
And why can't we have a food court?
Yes.
Like, I mean, like, we've got, you know, if you go to any food court in any mall in New Zealand, you will see several different Asian varieties of food in that one food court.
Absolutely, and that is
But where are the African food courts? Where are the food from Africa? Right?
Is this even at home? It's already kind of hard to have the ingredients that we use at home, but if we do have them. So my love for my Africa, you know, it's so beautiful. We are very many doing something for Africa, but in different fields. So my love for Africa and how I'm expressing it is to be able to create through these events, through African Mirror, through DJing, a space where young generation, a space where we can go and meet and learn and be educated, feel a sense of belonging, feel like the self-identity, because like I was saying to Liya, I don't believe you can become unless you know who you are. You know, you won't be able to become anything unless you know who you are. And this, you know, creating a space where our people can dance the African dances, that is them embracing themselves, embracing their culture, building their confidence, hence self-identity. You know, food, we would do these events to be able to actually empower our aunties who are still cooking at home, our uncles who are still cooking at home, to have a market. If we manage to have as many markets as possible. Africa Day, we did it in Auckland. When we opened, the food sold out within 2 hours.
Wow.
Before, like 2 hours when the event started, but that's because we had it at Salo Park, where they've got, again, their own following, you know, they're all subscribers who all know that place actually like host events, diversified events. So it was not only because of the marketing that we did have a massive turn up. Yeah. It was because as well, Salo Park has its own following, and the people have the money to buy things.
Yeah, we have Africa Day here in the TSB Stadium, but I think that's too far away. I think we should be in Civic Square. That's lifting that game, like what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's building like all these our aunties and our uncles that are still cooking at home to be able to put their product on the market. Sudanese food, Nigerian food, Ghanaian food, Ethiopian food. It's all out there. People to know that actually there is alternative food. There is African food on the market. Once we've got that database, once we've got that clientele, then we can think about having an African food court so that our people don't go and rent out shops, which is going to be a burden if they can't sell the food. So my love for it is to be able to empower, create safe space, create a sense of belonging, create a collective where we can actually grow our Africa together to be able to be individual in our own chosen fields. You know, same thing for the musicians, you know, the artists, our own local artists. New Zealand is too small for music. New Zealand is too small for artists. But here we can make it happen if we were to be, again...
If you work together.
To work together and create these events where... Because you never know.
Because that's a real key thing, working together, right? Because if you look at New Zealand history, Pacifica people didn't have power until they started working together. Māori people weren't Māori when Pākehās first came here. Māori were all different tribes. They had to work together. They knew they had to work together to actually survive and thrive on the situation that was unveiling itself on New Zealand. And the same things with Indian, Asian, and all these other ethnic groups. Africans have to learn to work together. That this isn't a competition between each and one of us, because if we make it competitive between each one of us, we're gonna lose.
We lose, and
we're gonna keep losing.
But also we complement each other. You know, we are all fighting for Africa. We are all trying to promote Africa. But you're coming from your own advocacy voice, which is particular to you, and I'm doing the same thing for Africa. But I've got my own voice, which is particular to me. And that's why we both have that same love for Africa, but it's in the different, what call it, pathways, you know? So, like, that's how I would say when it comes to vocalist, musician, local artist, create again that space, because you never know who is in the audience. Never. Like I was telling my dancers who will be going to dance together at Splore, and I said, you will never know who is going to be in the audience. You could be dancing for Beyonce, for what I know, next year. You know, all we need to do is just I've got an opportunity to play Explore, and I've been playing there for 4 years. Yeah, it's no longer about, oh my God, I play Explore. I'm like, yeah, who can I empower on my set? Yeah. So I've got also a vocalist. I've got like 90 minutes, and I will DJ for 60, and 30 minutes I'm going to give it to a vocalist, so you can have this opportunity to sing to other people, you know. And that's how I believe we can unite and empower those who've got those privileges. Bring those ones who are coming up with you.
Okay, quick fire questions. First of all, what I want you to do, because we're coming up to the hour. We haven't even seen, I told you this is going to go fast. I told you it's going to go fast. Okay, so I just want you, one thing from me, and then quick fire questions, because we got like about 6 minutes left. We got some things in the pot cooking.
Okay, yes.
Do you want to do a little quick, like, how are we going to do this? Be real general.
Yeah.
You can be cryptic if you like. I think keep it cryptic, but just, go on.
So basically, and then when she says like cryptic, I came here because, you know, somehow the air or the universe kind of like spoke to both of us, and then we actually called each other when we both wanted to talk to each other. Now she had a project and I had a project. I'm like, this is meant to be.
ORIKoL,
right?
Man. ORIKoL.
That is so true. And that is so true. Yeah, it is so true. When I say, it happens. And she said she can, I say I can. I said, I'm going to show you how much I can by coming and flying here to actually like, let's commune together and produce Wakanda Forever episode 3.
So yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Watch the space, you know, Wakanda Forever episode 3 is coming to Wellington.
Just stay late. Okay, Mia.
Yes.
Fire anything.
I was just gonna go back to like when you were talking about how people were trying to, at least people back in the radio, were trying to like dim your voice down when it came to telling them like, oh, standing up for these issues and things like that. Did you, by any chance, did you ever think that maybe it came from a place of love and like, oh, I want you to be able to excel in these predominantly white dominated spaces, so I'm just going to dim your light in order for you to accommodate, you know, going into these spaces in a way?
No, I reckon you're right. I reckon they were also coming. I'm hoping I understood your question. I know they were coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
I know that they were not wanting me to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they wanted to do. Also, like I said, they are really safe in Burundi. Yeah. For them, they don't understand why I would be like, because they're like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I think that's what I mean.
You know, like they are ignorant. They are not exposed to these conducts, Karen's conducts. You know what I mean? They don't know. They don't know. My siblings who are in Europe, what they would do, they'd be like, yeah, that was good, or that one was shit. No, I think that one, like, you know, like you were looking so tired, maybe put some makeup. That's what my siblings from overseas will be telling me, because they experienced the same thing that we experienced. But the ones from Burundi, hey, you're gonna get your, shut up, you know, because they were worried. Because it was coming from a place of love and ignorance too, because they are privileged. They don't go through this. Yeah, but
and that's another thing that I think would be cognitive dissonance to some people. Is that they're privileged in Africa.
Yeah, they are privileged in Africa. Right? No, they are privileged. That's why they're like oblivious towards these things. They're like, why are you talking about this? Why does that matter? Look after yourself. This is me looking after myself like this. You know?
I think that's where like the barrier comes in when people try to advise you from their own experiences. It's not really applicable to certain different scenarios. Because I'm coming to New Zealand and it's like, oh, you have to just minimize yourself, just make yourself more palatable for, and you're like, no, I have to bring my voice out. This is me. If they can't take it, then they shouldn't. Like, why should I do myself for them? No,
it's true. No, it was coming from a place of love. Yeah.
Amazing. Good question. My question was, I read something that you wrote again, which I've just
have some love in you. I'm loving you. You read so much.
Okay, whatever. So I read something and you said that you feel like like you've understood the joy and healing powers of music before you could even read or write.
Yeah.
What was your first memory?
Well, this is like for, you know, like in the African community. I mean, first of all, I come from like a family of 10 children, from one mother and one father, so you can imagine the noise that was there. And you can imagine like my mother would have another 6 siblings, and my dad would have, you know, and then we all lived almost in the same place area. Like let's say we are in Wellington, close to each other in Newton. So we go and visit our grandparents, and we are like 6, 7. And you know, like we will be all dancing, competing to see who's the best dancer, and we are like 15 cousins and all these children, and you like they will all like be hitting the pots and like singing and they are like competing. Yeah, I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the. So I understand the joy of it before I could even formulate a reasonable thought, you know, because. We were in there, we were dancing, we were competing. That was on a daily basis because we lived close by. Those were our games. It was just like, you know.
It's connected.
It is.
We're on our last minute. We got 60 seconds.
Yeah, 60
Go, Byron.
Well, I have no question. I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you so much for coming in. And like, I know I've been really inspired by the stories that you've been telling and the work that you've been doing within our community. So thank you so much for doing that. And I hope that you keep doing more. And like you said with Liya, if you need anyone else to do some stuff, wait a few months so it becomes easier apparently, and then you hit me up. That's what I'm saying. That's my last.
He's got to
get a babysitter. I'll come to Auckland.
He's got to get used to that other human. It's been a pleasure having you on the Blackhouse, having a whole new team. I'm looking at the clock. It says I've got like less than a minute to go, so I just like to again. Thank you for coming all the way down to Wellington to be on our show, The Blackhouse, the first show of 2023. It's so awesome for you being here, and I can't wait to get this project off the ground, Wakanda 3, whatever. You know, like...
Wakanda Forever 3.
That's us, guys.
Thank you.